They told you these colossal doors were built to honor gods. They lied. They were built for the inhabitants. The official position is straightforward. Ancient civilizations built large to impress. Massive doorways and colossal columns served religious purpose, projecting divine authority, dwarfing the individual before the power of gods and kings. This explanation appears in every archaeology textbook. It is clean, rational, comfortable, but it does not survive contact with the measurements. Baalbek sits in the Bekaa Valley, one of the oldest continuously inhabited sites on Earth. The Romans built the Temple of Jupiter on foundations they did not create. Beneath the Roman work lies a platform of stones so massive that modern engineering cannot fully explain their placement. The trilithon, 3 blocks forming the western wall, each measures 19 meters long. Each weighs approximately 800 tons. They are fitted with precision that leaves no gap wide enough for a razor blade. But these are not the largest. Still in the quarry, 1 kilometer from the temple, sits the stone of the pregnant woman. Over 1,000 tons of cut limestone, shaped on 3 sides, abandoned before delivery. In 2014, a German archaeological team discovered an even larger block beneath it, over 1,200 tons, the heaviest work stone ever documented. No historical record explains how these were moved. No tool marks suggest a known method. The textbook says grandeur. The stones say something the textbook cannot answer. That brings us to the structures underground. The Serapeum of Saqqara lies beneath the desert, 10 miles south of Cairo. French archaeologist Auguste Mariette discovered it in 1851. What he found underground defied every assumption about Egyptian capability. 24 boxes carved from single blocks of Aswan granite, transported over 500 miles, each box weighs between 60 and 100 tons. The lids alone weigh 30 tons. The interior surfaces are polished to a precision that modern engineers have called remarkable. Egyptian authorities label them burial chambers for sacred Apis bulls, but the craftsmanship exceeds anything required for that purpose, and the corridors leading to them are barely wide enough for the boxes to fit through. But here is what most people miss. Travel 8,000 miles to Tiwanaku, Bolivia, altitude 12,000 feet. The ruins of Puma Punku contain blocks cut from andesite, one of the hardest volcanic stones on Earth. The cuts are perfectly straight. The angles are precisely 90 degrees. The blocks interlock without mortar. Some weigh over 100 tons. The nearest quarry sits 10 miles away, across a lake. When Spanish conquistadors asked the indigenous population who built Puma Punku, the answer was consistent. These structures were built before humans, by beings who came before. Imagine standing inside the Serapeum. The corridor narrows. The ceiling drops. Your flashlight catches the edge of a granite box that weighs more than a commercial aircraft. You press your palm against the interior wall. It is smooth, cold, polished to a finish your fingertips cannot distinguish from glass. Your hand looks small. Everything about you feels wrong in scale. The thought arrives without permission. This was not made for you. Nothing in this corridor was made for anyone your size. The evidence is not mythological. It is architectural, measurable, carved in stone that has outlasted every empire that tried to claim it. Architecture is not the only record. Every major ancient civilization, without known contact between them, documented the existence of giant beings. Sumerian tablets describe the Anunnaki. Genesis chapter 6 records that giants walked the earth. Greek mythology built its origin around titans. Hindu texts described the deities. Norse sagas center on the Jotnar. Mesoamerican codices speak of the Quinametsin, giants who built Teotihuacan before the Aztecs arrived. One culture recording giants as mythology. Every culture recording the same giants begins to resemble memory. But here is where the record fractures. Throughout the 1800s, American newspapers published hundreds of reports describing oversized skeletal remains unearthed across the continent. Abraham Lincoln himself referenced these discoveries in 1848, speaking of that species of extinct giants whose bones fill the mounds of America. Numerous remains were delivered to the Smithsonian Institution, documented, cataloged, received. Today, none are available for public examination. Requests for access are declined. The catalog entries exist. The bones do not. The records did not vanish randomly. They became unavailable precisely when independent researchers began requesting verification, file by file, shelf by shelf, until the physical evidence became a list of reference numbers pointing to empty drawers. That is not confusion. That is curation. The doorway at Baalbek still stands, 23 feet of carved stone, open to the sky, framing nothing but wind and the memory of whoever last passed through it. Beneath the temple platform, ground-penetrating radar has revealed additional chambers, unexcavated, unstudied, sealed beneath foundations that no documented civilization could have laid. The Serapeum remains underground. The boxes remain inside. The precision remains unexplained. And across 6 continents, structures built to proportions that dwarf their supposed builders continue to stand, asking the same question in stone that no textbook has answered in ink. When every ancient civilization on Earth, separated by oceans and millennia, describes the same beings and builds the same impossible doorways, is the simplest explanation that they all independently invented the same lie? Or is it possible they were all remembering the same truth? The doors remain open. No one your size has ever explained who walked through them.